The Aam Aadmi Party has roped in Prashant Kishore's political consultancy firm for its re-election campaign.
Prashant Kishore has gone to greet Arvind Kejriwal, and a picture has been tweeted by them. He's congratulating the Chief Minister.
बिहार में नीतीश कुमार के लिए काम करने वाले प्रशांत किशोर अब पश्चिम बंगाल में टीएमसी के लिए चुनावों में काम करेंगे.
They are astute politicians like Mamata Banerjee, Prime Minister Narendra Modi earlier, Jagan Reddy. All of them have taken the help of political strategists in recent times. I'm Pallavi Ghosh, and my this week's One Take asks this question: why do they need to hire political strategists? Do these strategists really have a role to play? Can they change things? It was 2019 Lok Sabha election. As the results started pouring in, Mamata Banerjee was watching the results from West Bengal very, very closely. She was in for a rude shock by the end of the day when the BJP, which till now had only 2 members of parliament, went into a double digit. She immediately called up Prashant Kishore. She requested him to join her because the West Bengal crucial elections were coming up. She had actually seen the writing on the wall. Now, this raises a question that why would someone like Mamata Banerjee, who's a street fighter, who understands the nitty-gritty of politics, actually require a political strategist? Again, down south, we have a Jagan Reddy, for example, who again took the help of Prashant Kishore. In fact, the grand old party like the Congress also hired the services of a political strategist, Naresh Arora, in Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Haryana. Why do they need to do this? This is the question which I'm trying to answer. Well, one of the main reasons, of course, is that the game has changed. Things have changed, people have changed. Social media has come to play a very, very important role. Something which many of these senior politicians may not even understand how it works. People's moods also keep on changing, and everyone and every political party or a neta has a trick up its sleeves, and that's where the political strategist comes to play an important role, because they try and ensure that a politician or neta is able to outsmart the other. Now let's talk about Narendra Modi. He's one of the most high-profile leaders who actually hired the services of the political strategist Prashant Kishore at that point of time. Now I remember I was at an AICC session where Manishankar Iyer ridiculed the Prime Minister by calling him a chaiwala. That became a turning point. What happened is that Prashant Kishore thought about chai pe charcha, which means that there were different associations, different meetings which were organized over chai, and they were discussing the role of the Prime Minister, of Narendra Modi factor. It actually gave him the top job. That was in fact one of the reasons. Chai pe charcha became very, very popular. Now the grand old party of the Congress had an alliance with the Samajwadi Party in Uttar Pradesh. Again, Prashant Kishore was hired. It was a non-starter. The Charpai narrative did not work. Prashant Kishore later in interviews after interviews said that political parties often don't listen to political strategists, and there's so much that a strategist can do, because at the end of the day, the netas are the ones who will have to walk the talk and take it forward. Now again, take the example of Captain Amrinder Singh. By almost every yardstick, he is considered to be a very chilled out, lethargic politician. He has a mind of his own. He didn't listen to anyone else in the Congress party. And he again had the services of Prashant Kishore. And then you have coffee with captain. Now in a state like Punjab, many ask this question, what does the role of coffee have to do? But what it did was, and I remember I was there at that point of time, I would see that Captain Amrinder Singh would actually have these kind of interactions with students, the youth, who came to play an important role, because the Aam Aadmi Party was also trying to make inroads at that point of time. These interactions of the captain over coffee really seemed to be working, and the result was that he became the Chief Minister. Again, let's talk about the Congress party. Today, they are in power in a handful of states, like say a Haryana or a Rajasthan or Chhattisgarh. Again, the campaign was given to this whole company called Design Box, and it was run by Naresh Arora. His role was essentially to ensure that the party and the candidates were actually working in a coordinated fashion. Now, the Congress party actually split up. It has several different congresses. No one listens to no one. Everyone wants to please the high command. What political strategists play an important role is to ensure they all work in a coordination, from fixing up campaigns, for fixing up interviews or those posters, and how everyone should tweet simultaneously. For example, Congress Haina was a very popular tagline. It did not work for them in the last Lok Sabha elections, but there you have it. Down south, Jagan. Now, Jagan Reddy was seen as an upstart, someone who doesn't understand politics. But look at what he did. He became the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh. More than that, he became a street fighter, very similar to, for example, the role which Mamata Banerjee has. He had those huge padyatras. Prashant Kishor, of course, played a very important role. Now, there are pitfalls, and I'm seeing those reactions come on my timeline. There are positives and negatives in hiring those political strategists. The positives I've been spelling out. They give a kind of coordination. They give a system to the madness. But the negative is, at the end of the day, it sometimes happens that a leader loses his USP in this entire working on a coordination. Sometimes they work in an automated fashion. You know, elections in India are very chaotic. There is no system to it, but there's yet a system in the madness, so to say. A political strategist's hands are tied because there's only to a certain extent that they can play an important role in it. Often it is believed that a political party hires a political strategist because they are not so sure of win. That could be seen as a negative mark. It may not be true because abroad, every politician and contenders for a top job actually hire the services of a political strategist, so it works for them. In India, it's still a new factor. I mean, at the end of the day, this question arises, does a Mamata Banerjee, for example, or does a Narendra Modi, or for example, say a senior leader like a Captain Amrinder Singh or a Kamal Nath actually require political strategists to connect with the people? Yes and no. Yes, because as I said, it gives a coordination, it gives a system in place. The strategists can play an important role to convey to a leader that this is what feedback I've got. They do those surveys on the ground. They tell them, okay, this is the particular area where you need to concentrate on. This is the kind of a social media team which you require, and you should be concentrating on that. No, because most of these leaders also have their own USP. They have their own persona. Sometimes you run the risk of losing that persona when you hire the services of a political strategist. Before I start wrapping up, an important point. One of the main reasons why many of them are leading the Trinamool Congress and joining the BJP, and while they're leaving, some of them like Dinesh Trivedi are also pointing out that political strategists have started to meddle too much, and therefore we don't want to listen to them. This leads to a certain amount of disgruntlement. Well, the jury is still out, the electoral results are going to be out, and then we can decide. But this thing one can say for sure, political strategists are here to stay. They're going to come and play an important role now. And therefore, the large number of them coming up, almost every political party, you name it, whether it's the DMK, whether it's the SP, whether it's the Congress party, the Trinamool Congress, all of them have hired and will hire the services of a political strategist because they want the game to be on and they want to win the game as well.